After almost a decade of waiting, the elusive Five Nights at Freddy's movie was finally released last year, and it was honestly everything I wanted. Sure, the story left some things to be desired, especially that ending, but I'm just glad this thing's even real. So, to celebrate us finally getting our hands on this thing, and due to you guys' feedback, I thought I'd make the ultimate FNAF movie set. I present set number 21983, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. The set is one of my largest projects so far, coming in at a whopping 3,570 pieces, and 16 minifigures of the characters and animatronics we see throughout the film. So, with all that said, let's go through this beast of a set, starting with... I love this portrayal of Mike, even if he's probably not an Afton in this universe. Also, the fact he's played by baby girl Josh Hutcherson is so cool to me. I used to watch the Hunger Games movies back in the day, so seeing PETA cast in here was a pleasant surprise. He would use dual molded legs with some shoe printing. I tried really hard to depict Josh Hutcherson's likeness, and I think I pulled it off pretty well. He would have an alternate expression, as well as a tousled hairpiece to bring the whole thing together. Cabbie was also another pleasant addition to the FNAF universe. She's adorable, likable, and her relationship with Mike is just so wholesome. Originally, I wanted to use the small legs for her, but she's almost as tall as Mike in the movie, so I went for mid legs instead. They would have some printing representing her shoes, as well as some arm printing to match her torso design. Finally, she would have an alternate expression and a new hairpiece, as there wasn't an official one that fit her. Overall, just being a great representation of abs in Lego form. For our last main character, we have the white woman herself. When I first heard Vanessa was going to be a part of this movie, I was really confused. But after seeing it, I'm surprised by how organically they were able to weld her into the time period. She's a pretty basic figure, using plain legs with some minimalistic printing for her shoes, as well as some arm printing for the patches on her shoulders. This along with an alternate expression and the sideways ponytail hairpiece. Although simple, I feel like it does justice to her design. Now, it wouldn't make sense to just have our main cast, so let's move on to some of our side characters. One of my favorite new movie characters has to be Max. Cat Connor Sterling's performance is just really fun. Too bad it was cut short, if you know what I mean.
Was that the bite of 87?
Max would use plain legs similar to Vanessa's, as well as some arm printing with the same pattern as her torso. This along with an alternate expression and the Wanda Maximoff hair from the airport battle set, making for a great representation of this tragic character. Another awesome movie original character has to be Hank. I still remember thinking this was gonna be secretly Henry back when Christian Stokes was cast in the role. He would use dual molded legs with similar printing to Mike's shoes. This along with the official bat piece as a fun little accessory for him, as well as an alternate expression and the Kanan Jarrus hairpiece from Star Wars Rebels. One of the simpler figures of the set, still a pretty good one though. Thinking about it, most of these movie original characters are great, especially Carl. I love how his name is an Easter egg to the Cupcakes fan name, improved ever more by his face-off against him. He would also have dual molded legs with the same shoe printing as before. This along with a brand new torso print with a Midnight Motorist Easter egg, as well as an alternate expression and a modern Harry Potter hairpiece, making for a great representation of Carl in Lego form. For the last member of the break-in crew, we got Jeff, who is probably the most forgettable of the four. He's just boring compared to the others. He would once again use dual molded legs with some shoe printing, as well as an alternate expression and the Spooky Boy hairpiece from Series 16. A very simple figure that I had a relatively fun time making and designing. I still can't believe Corey's in the movie. It was quite a surprise to see him show up at the end of the second trailer. Originally, I wasn't sure about including him in here, but in the end, I decided to go for it, and I'm glad I did. Corey, or Cabbie, as he's referred to in the movie, would use dual molded legs with shoe printing. This along with an alternate expression and Finn's hairpiece from The Rise of Skywalker. Don't have anything else to say about this, I just really like the way the figure looks. Well, with most of our human characters out of the way, let's move on to what some people consider to be the actual main characters of the film. The animatronic. The TNT Muffin? What are you doing here?
I'm not really sure, honestly.
Well, since you're here, would you like to help me cover the rest of the figures?
Sure, so I guess we should move on to the animatronics, right?
Yep.
Alright, well Cosmic has already made most of these characters in his original video, so they just needed a few changes here and there. If they were really figures, Freddy and Bonnie would both be recolored to lighter tones to better match their film look, as well as Bonnie's guitar being a darker red for better contrast. Chica and Mr. Cupcake would be the same, with Chica's toes being a lighter color. Then there's Foxy, whose only changes would be a lighter pants color and some extra details on the hip. Same situation with Golden Freddy, having a lighter stomach color, as well as a new head mold with his missing ear and glowing eye. And here's what they would look like with normal eyes. Overall, they're simple recolors that still represent their characters pretty well. Now, those are all characters we've seen before, but the movie also had a few Easter egg characters like Sparky. He would use some plain legs with printing for his joints, as well as some arm printing representing the same thing. This, along with a new head mold, to bring the whole thing together. The last character would be Shadow Freddy, who's just a Freddy recolor, although it did use Golden Freddy's head mold in a purple color to represent his soulless eyes. Here's what they'd look like with normal eyes. These are simple yet fun inclusions to the set.
Nice, but I think you're missing someone.
No, I'm pretty sure that's all of them.
Spring Bonnie, or the Yellow Rabbit as he's referred to in the film, has to be the best part of the entire movie. I'm so disappointed he was only in it for less than 15 minutes though. Like, the casting is amazing. Matthew Lillard as William. Freaking Shaggy Ghostface Stu Matcher himself as the man behind Slaughter.
He's beautiful.
He would use plain legs with some withering on his left leg. This along with some arm printing representing the same thing. I wanted to go all out for this figure. So much so that I even included the spring locks piercing into his body. Side note, seeing that spring lock failure in the big screen was glorious. Could have used some more blood though. He would use a new head mold similar to Springtrap's, but with less withering. This along with an extra head with Matthew Lillard's beautiful face. Like with Mike, I tried capturing the likeness to the best of my abilities, and I think I did an amazing job. He would have an alternate expression, as well as a new hairpiece, since I couldn't find one that fit him. I also threw in a knife as an accessory, so he can recreate the iconic Scream knife swipe. Finally, here's what he would look like with normal looking eyes, making for the absolute best figure I made for the set. Now that we're done with the figures, I think it's finally time we cover the actual set. For the build, I knew I wanted to either go big or go home. So, I built the entire pizzeria in the style of the Simpsons house. There would be a side build with Corey's taxi. Now, LEGO has already made a lot of great taxi designs. So, I just took their most recent one, the Avengers Tower promo, and modified it to better fit its movie appearance. It would open up at the top and would allow you to fit in 2 figures. It would also have a spot at the back with an Easter egg for Corey's plant, Momo, being made up of a bucket and crown piece. For the actual pizzeria, I took some inspiration from 4 Studs custom set, which I modified to better fit my vision. It would have these pillars as well as some removable lampposts. Like in the film, it would be covering these plant and root pieces to give it some extra detail, having a brick-built Freddy logo at the top that I'm really proud of. Like, I think I captured the shape of it really well. I also threw in some fun references on the sides of the build to fill in all of that empty space. On the right side, there would be a newspaper print talking about the missing children incident, as well as another print being an ad for the king himself, Doug, inspired by this one meme one of my friends sent me. Then on the left side, there would be a print for Sparky's diner ad with a reference to a little someone I didn't get to cover in this set, with the final print being a poster advertising some random dude's job, or 2 jobs I guess. I'm sure he won't cause any issues. There would be these hinge pieces on the side for the set to open up like a dollhouse, allowing for even more display capabilities. There would be 2 sides, with the front being separated into 3 different sections. Starting on the right, there would be the prize corner, having a bunch of different pieces to represent prizes, as well as the security badge Vanessa gives to Mike when they first meet. The top felt a little bit empty though, so I added a Fazbear branded box, as well as one of the rats we see in the vents. In the middle, we have what I like to call the fourth area, having a bunch of chairs and tables, as well as some pizza boxes and a slice of pizza on top, to represent the adorable scene where Abby and her new besties build a fort. All of the chairs and tables would be detachable, allowing you to recreate different scenes from throughout the film. Finally, on the left, there would be a wall full of kids' drawings. You using the window piece with printing, as I felt it was the best way to represent it. There would also be 2 jumper plates on the floor, meaning you could technically recreate the now iconic white woman stare. Same for the back. Starting once again on the right, we have a wall with a door for the office, as well as the Showtime button. My favorite part though has to be the Employee of the Month wall, where I recreated all of the employees in this more simplistic Lego form, even the YouTuber cameos. In the middle, there would be the show stage, with different lights, as well as a door leading to parts and service like in the film. This along with some jumper plates that allow the animatronics to be displayed. Then on the left, there would be this smaller build for Pirates Cove, as it didn't feel right to leave it out, having jumper plates like the show stage for Foxy to be displayed. If you couldn't tell already, both Pirates Cove and the wall would be detachable, allowing you to access the builds behind. Parts and service would be on the left, with some spots allowing for Sparky and Shadow Freddy to be displayed, as well as a poster of the rules from the first game. Then for the main build of this section, I made the Freddy torture machine thing. It would be built on a rotating piece, allowing it to be moved and detached from the set. There would be a spot for a figure to sit in, with the Freddy mask being movable, allowing for whatever the hell this device did in the movie. I still have no idea what the purpose of this thing is. I'll just leave the theorizing to Matthew Patrick at this point.
It's just a theory.
The wall on the right would also be detachable, revealing the office behind it, being one of my favorite parts of the set. There would be this simple desk build with some monitors and the fan, with the Celebrate and Nebraska posters from the movie at the top, as well as this closet build, which, when opened, reveals this jump scare of a surprise. Seriously, I did not expect to see Balloon Boy of all people in this movie, like, at all. He would use a new microfigure piece to best represent his appearance. Finally, at the top, there would be Mike's Dream Theory book, which is such a fun reference to Dream Theory, or at least I think it is, using the official book piece with a new print. Also, I forgot to mention this, but the roof would be detachable, allowing for easy access to the inside of the pizzeria. It's definitely unrealistic. Like, I doubt Lego would ever include these many figures in a set of this size, but at this point, all I care about is that the set looks as good as possible, and I think I did a phenomenal job bringing the pizzeria to life in Lego form. Well, there you go. That's all the builds and the minifigures from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that I was able to make for this custom set. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider spring locking that subscribe button and leaving a like, as it helps out the channel a lot. While you're down there, tell me what you think of the set. I know it's different from my usual content, but I'm still really proud of the final outcome. I'd also like to give a big shout out to the TNT Muffin for being a part of the video. He's one of my favorite modern FNAF tubers, covering everything from FNAF news to even recently some Chuck E. Cheese history videos. If that interests you, I'll leave a link to his channel in the description as well as in the end screen. As always, have a great day and remember to stay awesome and creative. See ya. And hey, if you're interested in more FNAF content, consider checking out the videos listed on screen right now. On your left, you can find a playlist to my entire FNAF advent calendar. If you're more of a modern FNAF guy, on the right, you can find my video based on the Ruined DLC. As always, take care, and I'll see you fellow LEGO enjoyers next time.